Barber Shop Podcast, episode number big 36.
37 for this one.
37, episode 37.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun, and we sure as hell have had a lot of fun so far on Barber Shop Podcast, your source for awesome Hamilton and Southern Ontario, and frankly, world music. We've got a real hotbed of talent of all kinds, but certainly we love the musicians in here. We love to talk to them and hear them play. And today's special show, we're going to go over some of the guests who have been in over the last 9 months and play some of their music, recount maybe a little bit of the memories, impact that they've had, and wish everyone a happy summer holiday because Ryan might be working, but who knows? I don't want to get caught in traffic, so let's just say that this is one for the ages out there at barbershoppodcast.com. And I'd like to kick off the show with someone who was very excited to be on the show, and I was very excited to have on the show, Mr. Alex MacDougall. Alex passed away a little more than a week ago, shocking so many people in the musical community. Alex was truly one of the good guys, warm, generous, genuine, and a musician's musician. He had that rare blend of left brain and right brain, of mechanics and soul. He knew about melody, and he had the personality that works so well with so many people. And he wore the hat of guitar player as well as producer, and very, very important fellow. And he's going to be really missed in the musical community. I know you probably never got a chance to see him play.
No.
But just, by the people who quote him as someone who's really important to them, you can tell that his impact and his influence was very heartfelt. And I think a song that's appropriate to think about Alex and remember Alex is one of his called "A Taste of Heaven." And I think this is something that we'd like to play, and his guitar work is superlative on it, and of course the people he plays with and he sings with are incredible. I believe this is with the Hurricanes or with Mr. Harrison Kennedy, but Alex, up in heaven, we're looking out for you, and we miss you very much already. And here's a little taste of heaven from Alex MacDougall on barbershoppodcast.com.
I wasn't looking, it wasn't by design. Someone in conversation with a friend of mine. Of any bottle, I poured a second glass. We laughed about some memories from a common past. But then I found myself adrift in a blue ocean eye. And in the sparkle of her gaze I was mesmerized. I wasn't hoping, simply passing time, just playing off each other with a better line. I wasn't looking, I didn't see a sign, and all the most surprising from that friend of mine. But when I found myself adrift in those blue ocean eyes, and when I slip beneath the wave of a warm surprise, I thought I tasted heaven, 'cause I was flying high. I tasted heaven, my kisses so no way of knowing, no reason for concern. It's funny how they find you when your back is turned. Cause when she whispered in my ear with that low velvet sigh, and I surrendered to a fantasy I knew was mine, I thought I tasted heaven. Cause I was flying high, I tasted heaven. Kisses so divine, heaven, sweet heaven, oh, heaven, love of mine, all mine.
Yes, a little taste of heaven from Mr. Harrison Kennedy, and that's Alex MacDougall on guitar. Tasty, as usual. All these people, all of us, aren't going to be around forever. You know, this music is available. Thank God. Future generations will be able to enjoy it. But get the word out. I mean, this is really good stuff. Someone else who comes immediately to mind when I think about Hamilton rock and roll royalty is Mr. Sonny Del Rio. Sonny Del Rio. If you have a sax bit on a recording to do, you have Sonny Del Rio on speed dial. He is someone who you could implant in a Chicago or St. Louis or LA and New York, and he would be every bit as relevant and prevalent as he is today here in Hamilton. Child of the 50s, growing up in that sock hop bebop era, showmanship, the excitement, the danger of rock and roll, as quaint as it might seem right now, it was you were a badass when you hung with that crowd, and you wore on your sleeve your allegiance to rock and roll because it did something to you, it spoke to you in a certain way. And Dennis Graisley, Sonny Del Rio, has had over 40 years in the business, and he's a songwriter, and he arranges and works in the industry to this day with Georgie Fab and his son Tom, who's got his own killer band that we'll get to later.
Tommy Gunn.
Yep, Tommy Gunn. And hell of good guys too.
Yeah.
So we're going to spin one that caught my eye. It's called Crazy Street, and it basically probably sums up his street here in Hamilton. It certainly sums up my street.
A lot of streets.
Here in the Hammer, probably where you live.
Yeah.
But if you want to hear some good saxophone, some good rock and roll, some good music, do yourself a favor and look up Mr. Sonny Del Rio. And here's a little taste of him. Crazy Street from barbershoppodcast.com.
Hey, dig that knocked out harvest moon in the sky. Crazy on Crazy Street. Hey, look at that stack of ice cream clouds go by. Crazy on Crazy Street. Hey, what's that there in the middle of the bar? The jukebox jumping with the solid rock. Everybody had a blast. Crazy on Crazy Street. Just a rockin' with my baby now. Telephones are ringing when there ain't no phones around. Crazy on Crazy Street. Hey, brother, I'm gone, gone, gone. I've left the ground. I'm walking that crazy road of roses, digging that crazy beat. Hey, that crazy beat. Hey, you ain't a living till you living on crazy street.
A little crazy street for Mr. Sonny Del Rio. And I'm sorry, but I was born in the 60s, but that music still does it for me. It could have been Happy Days, I don't know, but
it's just happy music.
It's happy music, and it makes you move your butt.
Yep.
And as we've spoken about many times on this show, the secret to writing a good song, first of all, one must move thine butt.
Yeah.
And aggressive enough that men can drink to it, rhythmic enough that women can dance to it, and throw the rest to the wind, right? If you got some good songwriting, then people are going to get a hook on it. And overwhelming chunk of people who come into this show, have a direct hand in all those aspects, don't they? Right? I mean, they write, they write the music, they write the lyrics, they put the song together, they craft it, they record it, they promote it. One of the reasons they're on this show is because this is part of the process. People are only going to get exposed to a certain amount of music until they're at the place, at the time, or they're meeting the person in their life who's going to introduce you to music. And I don't know about you, but once I started becoming involved in the music business here in Hamilton, my interest for mainstream music dissipated rather quickly, because it's like going to a chain restaurant versus whatever the hankering you have. You want Mexican food, or you want Italian food, or you want Chinese food, you can go any place in Hamilton and get the real deal.
Yeah.
And music's like that too. That this is a band that's real people working their asses off, doing what they're clearly passionate about, not corrupted by any kind of machinery in the music business, money, greed, sloth. Well, there's some sloth. I'll have to say that's part of the flavor of Hamilton music. You need a little sloth.
It's no fun without the sloth.
A little sloth.
A lot of sloth sometimes.
Sometimes, but we run the gamut here. It's a real city, and you can get every kind of music under the sun. And the next one we're going to roll up here is some friends of ours in a band called Blacknd Red.
Yeah.
Blacknd Red is a kind of LA cog rock that, if you're a fan of, oh my God, you say, thank God there's a band like this that is still making new music, and it doesn't go away. And to be able to do it, not be 23 and do it convincingly, is a tough gig. And these guys do it as good as any group of men that I know. They do it with conviction, and they do it with a hell of a lot of talent. They had a great gig, both at This Ain't Hollywood and out in front of Cops Coliseum before the Rush show.
Yeah, that must have been a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. It was a hot day.
I know.
Like rock and roll in the heat.
I was right in the heat wave of 13.
Of 13, yeah. Not to be confused with the heat wave we get every other year.
Yeah.
But we're going to spin something called Nothing to Lose from Blacknd Red, one of the great kick-ass rock and roll bands out of Hamilton, Ontario, on barbershoppodcast.com.
Seek and I'll play hard, take a ride of your life. Pick up speed, no looking
Nothing to lose. Blacknd Red. God damn, it makes you want to hear another and maybe have a drink and go out and have a damn good time.
Yeah, drink for sure.
Drink for sure. That's a drinking band. Here, get a chance to see Blacknd Red. See them now before you got to pay a big price. Get in the door. Those guys are going places. Really happy to have them here on the show.
Yeah,
Good
that's
bunch of
awesome
guys.
music too.
It's kick-ass. Yeah, they know
really
how to play.
them.
And wish them all the best. Again, Blacknd Red. Now, speaking of a good bunch of guys, I want to talk about the only band not from Hamilton, and the only reason they came in here is because they're friends of the guys from Blacknd Red, and they're doing their cross-country tour, promoting their new record, and they were kind of couch surfing, hanging out, made a lot of friends very easily here in Hamilton because being from Cape Breton, the boys had manners, and the boys had personality, and they fit in like a pea in a pod around here. And they were mentioned, said, these guys would like to do the podcast, and we thought that'd be great. And they came in, and they were sweet, weren't they, Ryan?
Yeah. They were also, and still to this day, they hold the record for the biggest live audience. Which we may break actually last week because, we're coming to you from the past. We're doing this in advance. This is our summer vacation episode.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes. But
I think this is one that people are going to enjoy because it's got a lot of good music in it.
Yeah. Or you've already enjoyed by the time you're watching this.
Yeah. Or you're pumping it out at a pool party because it's got so many great Hamilton tunes on it.
Yeah.
But here's one where, these boys could be from Hamilton. They're certainly adopted now here, and welcome back. And next time they're through, or if you're in a different part of the country, or wherever they wind up touring, do yourself a favor and see Pretty Archie.
Or go back and watch their episode. If you haven't seen it already. All of these bands, go back and watch their episodes.
Yeah, they're archived at barbershoppodcast.com.
Right down here in the...
right down at the bottom, underneath here. Put that on your favorites, like save that thing. You can get notices. It'll remind you when a new show is coming up. And I learn a lot. Every time I get someone in here, sit down for over an hour with someone, you're going to learn a thing or two. And learn these guys would be a hell of a good time at a party.
Oh, for sure.
You had them in your kitchen. They sat down. They were very much at ease playing together. The fellow, the bass player, came in, and he was going to play guitar, and they saw we had acoustic bass, and he wasn't familiar with it, but he picked it up fearlessly, and they did really well. And again, I'm really looking forward. They're on their way back, so I got to wait till they come out here again and look them up. They've got videos, they've got material available, and look up their episode at barbershoppodcast.com. But we've got one called Woodshed or was it Woodshed or Wood Stove? I don't know.
Wood stove.
Okay. And it's in a wood shed, I would imagine, or a wood cabin.
That's where the wood's kept for the wood stove.
Yeah, because we're
in the wood shed.
In the wood shed, but if you're wood shedding,
Yep.
Anyway, here's a little Pretty Archie on barbershoppodcast.com.
Grabbed my smoke and played around with it. Don't know why I let her. Something about the way she said this won't go back together. I knew it. She said you're a brick and I'm a feather. You fall too fast, boy, be crumbling soon. Handed me back my cigarette and said, finish it off, you ain't had none yet. I got the boys to drink with now, though I'm keeping busy and I got running around, places to go. I don't know, no, settling down. Sometimes when I'm out, I see you kicking around. Sometimes when you're drinking, I catch you looking at me. I wonder if you're happy now. Maybe I'll make a change and maybe it'll be enough. But I can't quit drinking and I can't keep it up. I was all you needed. All we had was you and I. You gave up and said you're leaving. I didn't need to ask, I knew why. There was a time I was all you needed. Now all we had was you and I. You gave up and said you're leaving. Now didn't need to ask, I knew why. There was a time I was all you needed. Now we have you and I. You gave up and said you're leaving. I didn't need to ask, I knew why. I didn't need to ask you, I knew why. She grabbed my smoke and played around with it. Don't know why I let her. Something about the way she said this won't go back together.
Pretty Archie on barbershoppodcast.com. Hell of a good bunch of guys.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah, great song. And talking about great songs and a great bunch, or at least a great guy, next guy we're going to spin, Mr. Steve Sinnicks. Been on the show 2 times, once as a solo performer doing his own material, and once drumming with Burning Ethel, another great bunch of guys. Steve is one of those rare triple threats, probably a few more threats in there. He's funny, sarcastic, warm, generous, genuine, brilliant, very witty, writes great songs, doesn't waste your time, you know, in any aspect of his craft. The way he plays, the way he writes, the way he delivers, the way he performs. He's doing a lot of work out there right now, playing a lot of different venues with different people or solo. If you get a chance to see Mr. Steve Sinnicks, do yourself a favor and do so. As well, his acclaimed CD, Last Irishman in Corktown, recorded over at Blue Room Studios, Mr. Steve Negus. Really great piece of work. You know, I imagine you lit up when you heard that as well, right?
Yeah.
You know, really like that. You know, I want to get to a song off of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of self-explanatory. I don't even want to call it roots music. It's just good music across the board. At barbershoppodcast.com, we're going to go with Someone Else from The Last Irishman in Corktown, latest CD out from Mr. Steve Sinnicks, barbershoppodcast.com.
face from the past, forgotten place in the heart. When you're closer to the end than to the start, and it washes away the passion of you. That glance in the mirror that tells you the truth. So talk about now, in this world that leaves wells. If you're talking about love, talk to someone else. Cards that are played, the choices are made. Cliched myths never put to the test, and the honesty bared, and letters never sent. Sometimes the smart move isn't always the best, but the memory fades. How it lived, how it felt. If you're talking about love, talk to someone else. And some say those words so easily. Is talk cheap, or is it just me? Is it just me? Don't wanna look back, I don't wanna know. You don't get better, man, you only get slow. So tell everyone who's in sight, it's better to be happy than it is to be right. 'Cause the heart won't break, it's a slow, cold melt. If you're talking about love, talk to someone else. If you're talking about love, talk to someone else.
Someone else, Mr. Steve Sinnicks, SG Sinnicks, Steve Sinnicks. Anyway, you see him written up, do yourself a favor, as I said, and go see him. Great performer, great recording artist, Mr. Steve Sinnicks. And a true Hamiltonian, come by via way in Niagara, but he's adopted this place and wears it like a glove or an old shoe, and he's very much a part of the scene. Very, very blessed to have him here. We're going to go on to someone who, I don't know, they're all local boys and they've all made good, but the one guy that we've had on this show who people, we're really happy that we were on the show, who learned a few things from, because he's got fans from all over the world, is Mr. Steve Negus. Steve Negus, known primarily as being the drummer in the groundbreaking Canadian prog rock band Saga. Had units over 1 million sales in the States. Was huge in Europe. To this day, gets a lot of radio play. Real pioneer in that electronica era of the 80s.
Yeah, progressive rock.
But the roots of where he came from and the music that he played and who he played with. Again, do a little bit of homework. Go back and look up the episode on Steve Negus here at barbershoppodcast.com. Fascinating about who he played with, how he got his chops and developed his style. But he's once again, a very intelligent, motivated individual, has his own studio, does a lot of good work here. That last CD we heard was recorded at his studio, which is Blue Room Studio here in Hamilton. Steve Negus, a writer extraordinaire as well, and he works again with the cream of the crop, and we're going to do a tune off of his CD. I'm going to pick one that I like, not that I don't like them all. We're going to do track 5, Rest My Case.
Let's do that.
I rest my case. A little finality. When you hear it, you'll know what I mean. At barbershoppodcast.com. If it makes you laugh, there's nothing better than a drum solo. Lasts a minute and a half, and I rest my case. Yep. That's Steve Negus.
That's how you do a drum solo.
That's how you do a drum solo. Now, his CD, it's full of great, great vocals. He works with some great vocals and whatnot. But Steve, being who he is, appreciate that, and we appreciate it. Again, look him up, Mr. Steve Negus. Big family here in Hamilton. It's kind of a community that beat each other up and pick each other up, depending on the situation, usually as needed. But a fella, the music we're going to spin next, kind of came by it honestly. The son of Sonny Del Rio, Dennis Graisley, Mr. Tom Graisley. He's my age and friends with a few of the guys he went to high school with. Worked or was around, was immersed in part of that music his whole life. And at this stage in his life, he's written and got some songs with Georgie Fab put together a nice CD, and now they're busting their ass, and they've put together a nice little band with Mark Grimelli and Lou J. Barassa, a few other choice individuals, and it's a rock and roll outfit, and they're going to be having their CD release party, or they had their CD release party.
By the time you're watching
this, it was Saturday the 28th at the Casbah. But this is, again, a band that you're going to hear and you're going to see because they like to work and they like to rock and they love what they're doing. And this is a song that basically sums it up for these guys and for a lot of us. Hounds of Hamilton off of Tommy Gunn's debut CD. Look for it in your record stores, look for it online, and check out the episode that Barbershop Podcast had with Kirk Douglas, his manager, and
Tommy Gunn
himself. And Hounds of Hamilton here at Barbershop Podcast.
This one's going out to all you Hamilton hounds. Tommy Gunn! We grew up in this gold town. The place is full of ups and downs. Getting high since we were 15. 'Cause getting high was quite the scene. Now my old man, he plays rock and roll. I guess that's where I get my soul. Oh mama, she is off the chart. I guess that's where I get my heart. The place is full of all our friends. It's where it starts, where it ends. It was 1957, me and Red Suburns got into Winky's 32 Ford Roadster that rode up the Clapson corners. Hamilton, you gotta love this town. Hamilton, the place that made me round. Took off over the skyway as the moon crested up over the escarpment. I remember looking at Winky and saying, bitch. Sonny Del Rio! The place is full of all our friends. It's where it starts, where it ends. Yeah. I'd never seen a 32 Roadster go that fast. I didn't think it would clear the cliff, but it did. Cleared it completely over the treetops. Man, the cat must be doing 115 miles an hour. Landed on all four and kept going. The place is full of all our friends. It's where it starts, where it ends. Yeah. The place is full of
Hamilton, Mr. Tommy Gunn, coming to a storefront near you, coming to your daughter's bedroom window. You better watch out. Guy's trouble, I tell you. Hamilton rock and roll. It's what we do here. It's,
I don't know if we want to put that kind of reputation on them.
Yeah, I guess not.
Hide your adult legal age daughters.
Yeah. True. But there has to be some danger. There's too much. A great little interview by Alice Cooper about what qualifies as rock and roll these days, talking about Mumford and Sons and whatnot. And it's like, that's good. That's folk rock, and it's dancey and cute and intelligent. It's not rock and roll, and that's okay. We have all kinds of different people come on here, and rock and roll has a wide scope. And that's okay. But I tell you, it's all rock and roll. As long as it moves the soul. And speaking of rock and roll, a guy who probably in 1973 would be the last person that you would qualify or try to quantify or pigeonhole or even describe remotely as rock and roll is Mr. Ray Materick. Now, Raymond Materick has been, a seminal part of the Canadian and world music scene for quite a long time. From the early 70s, he's been well regarded and well known, worked all throughout Southern Ontario. And we've been lucky enough to have him here in Hamilton for some time now. And he's put out quite a large body of work. But one thing that he's particularly proud of and something that he really shone on is his Peace on Earth project, where he was playing rock and roll. He strapped his Telecaster on. He had Mr. Dan Koltov playing drums, and Kieran, name's escaping me, the guitar player. Fantastic.
Keon Crosswell.
Unfortunately for us, Ray Materick is leaving the province. He's moving to British Columbia, and relatively soon. And he's got a show that, once again, when you hear this, it was 3 days ago, Sunday night at Casbah. I'm sure very well attended, and knowing that he was going to leave a mark on the crowd and on the city, a smoking good show. It's, again, something that's available through iTunes and available through CD Baby. Just check out the links at the interview we did with Ray Materick at barbershoppodcast.com. We're going to do something called Shine On, Shine On, which is off the Unity disc of his Peace on Earth compilation. It was 2-disc set, and this one was off the Unity disc. And we want to play it for you right now and have some good Hamilton rock and roll, and wish the very best for the future travels of Mr. Ray Materick here from barbershoppodcast.com.
The sun, taking love away from everyone, taking my breath so I can breathe. It's just like taking you from me. taken tomorrow and thrown it away.
Shine On from Ray Materick, and Ray will shine on. That's a guy who's going to play probably long after he's left this world. Yeah, heavenly voice, and blessed to have him. Talent rich, I tell you. We are in this town. If you're from an outlying area and you're thinking of visiting Hamilton, pick up View Magazine, go online, look around, use your Facebook account, find what's happening in Hamilton. The venues are increasing. The people are paying attention to the kind of quality of what we've got going on. And one guy through Spherical Productions who's been doing that for a while is Mr. Joey Balducci. And he's teamed up with Grand Peaceable, who Grand Peaceful was in the Crimps back in the day when Captain Easy was ripping up Hess Street. They were someone that we likened ourselves to, a really good time party band. That an incarnation of that band still exists and still plays. But a unit that these two put together is called Blind Mule. Infectious, really wonderful music, intelligent, creative, and I liked it from the first time I heard it. They're a band that if you see them live, it's certainly a show you're going to remember. Just soaked with quality and musicianship and writing, and I want to play a little something called Firehouse off of Blind Mule's self-titled, I don't know, I guess it's an EP, but you can get it from their website, again, on iTunes, any number of the digital distribution sites, as well as take a look at the Barber Shop Podcast. It's actually a listen. It's one of our early shows, the first 9 shows before we had video.
No video.
But we still have links.
Yeah, you can still listen.
Yeah, you click
which
in there.
Is just as good.
Just as good, because it's ear candy, right?
Yeah.
Our beauty is
it's a
just
different
a bonus,
experience
right?
At this point. We've got more with video than without.
Yes.
Yeah.
But these were the days. These were the early days before, I don't know, things
the
went
dark
so
times. The dark times of the Barber Shop Podcast.
They were literally dark.
Yeah.
But here the lightness has come, and it's coming in the form of two guys who we were blessed to have very early on the show, Grand Peaceful and Joey Balducci. Great guys, great band, Blind Mule, here at barbershoppodcast.com.
I'll wait by the firehouse and I stay just to hear those sirens. Oh, those lights, they go streaking by, and I wonder if you just say goodbye. You can't sleep 'cause you're wondering why they ever built that fire. about to turn away. You hear it on every channel. It's lighting up every panel. Call comes in that you wait for. I know I don't have a say. This is what you're paid to do, and you don't know what you're heading to. But I can hear one coming down from Caroline. 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 I'll wait by the fire, your house. I stay just to hear those silent on and on. I wait by the fire, I stay just to hear those silent. All those days getting all further apart. Don't want to see the light open and brighter just to hear that ringing. Can't sleep 'cause you're wondering why they ever built that fire.
Little blind mule. I love
that was
guys.
Awkward.
I know. I love those guys. They just put me in a trance every time. Like if I watch them play, I sit there and go, "Oh, that's great."
Yeah,
you know, that's really great. Put a smile on my face. We got to move along though because there's so much good material.
Yeah.
I want to get on to a hard-working rock and roll band. I mean, this is a scrappy band. This band is called Spin Dizzy. Spin Dizzy. Tyson Maloche, Eric Famous. A couple guys that came in, sat down with us, played some rock and roll, talked some rock and roll. You know, some people, I guess, maybe come by it easy. Some people like to feel the grit, the stones under their feet. And I tell you, these guys are so dedicated to what they do. They believe so completely and entirely what they do. Manage the family, the life, the joys and the tragedies that go along with that. Again, it was another really good episode on Barber Shop Podcast. Take a look, Spin Dizzy. But they came in here with some material that they're working on. They're constantly writing, constantly recording, and just blew us away with the power and the energy of what they've got. They're going out, opening some major shows. They play all over North America, and are basically fearless. Proud to call them friends and friends of the show at barbershoppodcast.com. This is something these guys don't do, a tune called Faking It from Spin Dizzy.
Gotta get gone before you displease me. You gotta get gone. I'm gonna kick you in the teeth. I don't wanna see your face no more. Nah, 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 nah. You keep on talking and I can't take it anymore. Nah, 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 nah. So I don't wanna hear about it. Give you 3 steps, take the door. Yeah, I don't wanna see your face no more. face no more. You keep on talking and I can't take it anymore. So I don't wanna hear about it. I'll give you 3 steps, take the door. I don't wanna see your face no more.
Spittin' Dizzy, Faking It from barbershoppodcast.com. God damn it, I love a well-crafted rock and roll song. Makes you want to set stuff on fire, doesn't it, Ryan? It does.
Yeah.
Nothing like a good rock and roll song. And I tell you, these guys, Spittin' Dizzy, Blacknd Red, they're a couple like really good rock bands right out of Hamilton. You know, catch them any day of the week. You know, check them out. Check the podcast out, barbershoppodcast.com. We got all kinds of great musicians, great characters, great stories, road stories, life stories, something for everyone. It's a show not just about the music, but about the lives and the life that is entailed with the whole scene. One fella that we had on the show, someone who I was really glad to have on, someone I've worked with a little before, Steve Foster, hell of a nice guy. Grew up in the thick of it in the rock and roll scene in West Hamilton, around the likes of Gordy Lewis and Dave Rave and all of the awesome music in the scene in the late 70s, early 80s that was coming out. A very important member of a number of outfits, including Simply Saucer and Crawling King Snakes. Steve Foster works as a producer, as an engineer, as a sound man, anything related to music. He's a guy who certainly could touch and find out something or someone that can help you with what you're doing. And if you get a chance to see him play, again, do so. Do something of his own music, a tune called Compass. When Steve plays, writes his own music, some things are for a band that he's in or for something in particular. Sometimes it's something he puts in his pocket. It's a song that's a Steve Foster song. And I believe this is one of those. And we're going to spin it for you now. This is Compass at Barbershop Podcast. Compass from Steve Foster here at barbershoppodcast.com. Well, we've had a wonderful hour-long little retrospective on some of the cats who've come in here and sat down with us. 36 episodes. Yeah. And that was just a small sample. I'm sure there'll be other shows where we do the same thing and give a little bit more exposure to some goddamn good artists out there who deserve it. And I'm sure if you spun this poolside on a beautiful summer afternoon, you enjoyed yourself, the kind of music that coming out of Hamilton and coming out of this show at Barbershop Podcast. You know, tell your friends about it. Tune in every week. We're here. We broadcast live, Justin TV, justin.tv/Barbershop Podcast, and on our website, barbershoppodcast.com. We're available on iTunes, Tumblr, Stitcher. It's
not
something.
Tumblr.
Tumblr, Stitcher, iTunes, and YouTube. Subscribe.
Yeah.
You know, we'll keep you posted on all the great things coming out. In the meantime, thank you for coming out. Ryan, once again, thank you for coming out.
Anytime.
You got no choice in the matter.
No, I'm kind of stuck. Nobody else knows how to use the gear.
Yeah, that's right. So if you're young and ambitious and you'd like to work on some other shows we've got, give us a call.
Yeah, we'll train an intern for sure.
We'll train an intern. You got to know how to make coffee, though.
Yeah, open beers.
We don't need you to roll joints, though. That's what the vaporizer is for. BarbershopPodcast.com. We'll see you next week.